Hi, I'm Linda Gerson. I want to thank the Maine Jewish Museum for exhibiting my work alongside of 9 other accomplished artists. And I'd like to thank Nancy Davidson and Elizabeth Ruskin and Juliet Carolson for co-curating and videoing this show. Thanks so much. So this body of work, there's 6 pieces here in the show. These 5 here on this wall were all done on paper and are created from acrylic and various mixed media that includes collage, graphite, ink, and collage. Some of these pieces were a direct response to the pandemic and the world events happening in this past year. And other pieces were more spontaneous creations that came out of going into my home studio and just experimenting with color and shape and form and coming up with something that I really enjoyed, like this first piece. The second piece was in direct response to George Floyd's murder. And you can see collage pieces in the painting that I tore from current newspapers and magazines that were portraying and talking about what was going on. This piece, I honestly cannot remember how it got created, but it was again an experiment of shape and form that when I was finished and stood back and looked at it, emerged to me very specifically as images of the sea and a ship and water, which I hadn't even noticed until I was finished and stood back and looked at it. And that often will happen when I'm creating a piece, that the associations are unconscious until the piece is finished. And then I have a piece that I can say, oh, this is what that was all about, and I come up with a title. For example, this piece right here, which is a combination of collage and mark making, really appeared to me to be about unraveling. And at the time, there was a lot of chaos and a lot of demonstrations going on in the country. And I think that the painting was definitely in response to what was going on at that time. This piece next to it is called On the Edge. And again, it was another piece that it wasn't until I was finished creating it that I could stand back and look at it and go, oh, it really reminds me of being on the edge of the water, or being in an autumn forest with a field, or it can be any number of things dependent on the viewer and what they make of it, which is the other part of what I really enjoy about doing abstract art. Different from when I did representational art a number of years ago, the viewer gets to put together in their own minds what it is they see in the painting and how it appeals to them personally. This last piece is called December Light, and it is my most recent painting, actually. It's done on a wood panel, different from the other pieces that were done on paper. And it just emerged. I don't know how to speak any other way about it except that it just emerged as part of my process in the studio that day. And I was very aware of seeing it as the way I was feeling at the time in December, which was kind of a peacefulness, either temporary or not, post-election, with hope of what was to come in the new year. And I think that's why there are both bright colors and the grays of winter both in that painting.